government by the people, of the people, for the people. But the people are retarded.
Father, before I begin, bless me, Father, for I'm about to sin.
America. I pledge allegiance to the United States of America. One nation, indivisible, under God, for real.
And Corn Pop was a bad dude. And he ran a bunch of bad boys. Senators here. Chuck, stand up, Chuck. Let him see you. Oh, God love you. What am I talking about? I tell you what, you're making everybody else stand up, though, pal. Thank you very, very much. I tell you what, stand up for Chuck. The best way to get something done, if it holds near and dear to you that you like to be able to, anyway, from Charlotte, another line going from in Florida down to Tampa. Of Putin's kleptocracy. Yeah. America is a nation that can be defined in a single word. I was going to put him. The idea that Los Angeles and what am I doing here? For two reasons. One, you won't be safe in Joe Biden's America. We hold these truths to be self-evident. All men and women created by you know the thing. Let's be clear. I hear it all the time. Cumulative, definitely, I can play for the programs many times over. Well, I'm sick and tired of smart guys. Let me start off with two words. Made in America. Made in America.
Welcome back to another night of Shtick with Koolfrogg. Oh my lord. I'm so unprepared for tonight. I seriously have no clue why I'm even here. But I'm going to attempt. I do have a whole bunch of things from this weekend that I'd find randomly that I thought maybe would make it into a show. So being that I didn't and had no plans directly for a show, I'm going to do my best to go along with the stuff that I have. It might not be in any sequence or order of any sort. If it looks like it might be too much for YouTube, we will not play it on YouTube. You usually can tell by the words that are being said and what's in the content. Be sure to hit like buttons, share this out to those places you like to share things, and we'll get a move on with this. This could be, all right of a show for whatever it is, in no order whatsoever. If we hit on things multiple times, we'll try to, go past that. Hello, Suzanne. Hello, Clumsy. Yo, the Atlas Pass over on Rumble. At the Atlas Pass over on Rumble. I'll not dox you tonight, Jimmy. What in the world? So this would have been the first thing I would have saved Friday, as I knew that I would be doing an open mic. That was okay. It was okay. It could have used a little bit of work. We did walk into, Saturday. We had fun Saturday. That was an interesting night. Got to hang out with a feral housewife. A feral housewife just happened to be in the audience and overheard the content that I was going over and decided to join me. That was a fun night. Then of course we had Vicky's birthday. Vicky's birthday was on the spot, fun, hilarious. And if you missed it, I would suggest you go back and rewatch Vicky's birthday. It was a good show. It was a good show for sure. That was fun. It wasn't it, Wendy? Good to see you, Wendy. Moose Ark Village. Boots and cats and boots and cats. All right. So, 3 acquitted in the final trial of the Gretchen Whitmer kidnapping stuff. It was a big win for these 3, I believe, in my opinion. I think it was a big win for them. I think it took a lot. I think it took a lot to achieve what they had, all the money that they would have pushed at this for these three young men to be able to be acquitted. Article in itself says 3 men are acquitted Friday on all charges against them in connection with allegations that they're involved in the 2020 plot to kidnap Michigan Governor Gretchen Whitmer. Eric Molitor, William Null, and Michael Null were each acquitted on 1 count of providing material support of terrorist act and possessing a firearm when committing or attempting to commit a felony. Prosecutors alleged the men targeted the Democratic governor's northern Michigan vacation cottage and conducted surveillance on her home. For these 3 men to be acquitted is quite the feat in itself. I think when you have federal courts and a governor that's accusing you of doing such a thing, for you to overcome that you would almost think that impeachment of the governor would be next. Maybe an unpopular opinion, but just maybe that needs to be the next step. Mother and Null brothers, visibly emotional hearing a jury's verdict in Michigan courtroom, are the last of the group of 14 prosecuted in the state and federal courts in connection to the plot. 8 men were charged on the state level, and another 6 were indicted in federal charges in 2020. Ultimately, 9 were convicted and pleaded guilty in the case. 5 were acquitted. I mean, in total, having these 3 as well as 2 others be acquitted for it really puts into question what happened with the first bunch that they just so happened to pick up a conviction and a guilty plea, and what was it that they were offered for their dealings in this particular instance. And I think there's a lot to question when it comes to this particular ordeal. Kind of, again, I really do not have any type. I seen things, I thought they were interesting, and then I go and I look through them, I dig through them, I pay attention to the articles, where the articles come from, where they're, this is from the Daily Fetched. This one is actually MSNBC with the Hillary Clinton clip. Now, I don't know. That might be a little much. We might not want to listen to what she has to say.
Do you think the questions about his age are legitimate?
Well, the question's legitimate, but the conclusion that people draw is, I think, off base. Look, I am supporting President Biden and Vice President Harris because of what they've gotten accomplished. I'm kind of old-fashioned that way. I like to see people, you know, as I said, tackle big problems, bring people together, and try to forge solutions. And I don't know about anybody else, but I'm kind of happy that we're fixing our bridges and our roads and the rest of our infrastructure. And I'm thrilled that we are going to compete with China on advanced manufacturing, and that we're going to make the transition to clean energy as quickly as we possibly can, plus bring down drug prices. And I could go on and on. So when people say to me, well, he's old, yeah, that's right. But look at what he's gotten done. And then, if that's not enough for you, look at the alternative. A wrecking crew, people who, as Mitt Romney said, do not even believe in our Constitution, who don't want to solve problems, who only want to engage in meaningless, endless partisan sniping and insulting. So literally for me, when I look at what's been accomplished with the team that was put together, I am very impressed.
Of course you're very impressed. You're very impressed because I'm sure that your tutelage has something to do with it. I wouldn't assume that you didn't have anything to do with this particular administration as it is, regardless to your exact position and the position that you do take, as I would almost assume that you sit really close and nearby to the clean and articulate Barack Obama, and have a lot to say about this particular administration. I mean, I could be wrong. But I think that there's a lot there, a lot that not maybe everybody's thinking about when it comes to the things that come out of this lady's mouth. And she seems to think that this current administration is in good shape and they're doing wonderful things. I mean, you know, tell me if I'm wrong, but, you know, Memento Mori, what's up, Jiraiya? You know, you answer me if I'm wrong. Answer me, you know, and tell me that this administration somewhere is doing a good job. I really would love to hear something that where this administration and the multitude of money that they've spent, where they've done a good job. So I have not seen it. So didn't have anything planned, to kind of scan in these articles as they're coming up and see what I was thinking, and if it's something that I should really go over or not. I don't. Yeah, see, some of that you just kind of you know better, and you're like, nah, I wouldn't even cover that over on Rumble. It doesn't seem like it's legitimate. It seems like it's something that's unnecessarily for me to even take a glance at. You know, and then the next one you take a look at it and you're like, oh, yeah, we can listen to what these people have to say. So, you know, again, no plan Monday night. Very unprepared for the night.
President Biden, who, I mean, truly, he's been on vacation for a month between his time at Rehoboth Beach. And
no, No, it seems to be, as she brings up his vacation time. It seems to be that vacation by anybody, whether it be golfing or sitting on the beach or doing almost anything else, is scrutinized by both sides. Like, oh, that's all he does is does this. This was, this president were complaining about how much time he sits at the beach with his shirt off in the sun, letting kids rub his hair down till they turn up, and he likes roaches and kids jumping on his lap, type things. To Donald Trump shaking the golf ball, because he doesn't do anything else. He plays golf because he enjoys it and he can afford it. So, you can stop picking on both sides for what they do for their vacation time, because they all take it. They'll take it.
Delaware to the trip out west to Lake Tahoe, one little stint to Maui under pressure to actually show some sort of heart for those whose lives were destroyed by this fire. It's been vacation after vacation. So now he comes back and he is asked about the Jacksonville, Florida shooting, right? This is SOT 1. And you tell me whether you can understand even just maybe 10 words together of what he says here. What just happened, just as a reminder for our audience, 3 people were shot and killed in Jacksonville. They were black. The shooter was white. He then killed himself. It was obviously a disturbed young man. I think he was 22 years old. In any event, he was asked about it. Here's what he said.
And so we have to act against this hate-fueled violence, and we saw what's happening there. By the way,
I can't answer your question, Darth Hideous. It's impossible. Thank you for showing up and hitting that thumbs up button.
but almost 5 years to the day that 5 young blacks were killed.
What's up, Jerry?
In Jacksonville.
Good to see you. Glad you're still alive.
At a gun shop, a store that were doing kids' toys. But and we have to speak out that there's a whole group of extreme people trying to erase history, trying to walk away from the idea that we're sitting here.
Oh, my Lord. I'm not going to be able to listen to this whole thing. There's no way I'm going to make it through this whole 9 minutes of this rambling, rumbling, mumbling. Joe Biden, he's getting so hard to listen to that even the stuff that I thought was hilarious, that of him doing, which is where I get my intro from, is I think hilarious. But then at the same time, gone to the point where it's disgusting. I don't want to see that. I don't want to see any of it. He shouldn't be there when he is, and we're going to deal with it. Why? I don't know why. I don't know why, Darth. It's a good question. Why is he still paraded about? He shouldn't be. I only catch about 25% what he says anymore. I think that was the point. So that way he can get a whole bunch of ridiculous bullshit out one day of, oh, wow, there was a day of coherence. And you got a whole bunch out and nobody was paying attention because they were accustomed to tuning them out after about 25 seconds into a 10-minute speech.
I never thought that I'd be president, let alone be president, and having a discussion of why books are being banned in American schools.
You couldn't? Not once? Not once in the 60-ish years that you've been in government? Not once. Did you think that you were going to be president? So you've ran several times. and lost because your speeches were either plagiarized or you just ran off. For whatever reason, how you got yourself to the level of political stance that he has to be president is ridiculous. Is that a bot? Is that a bot over on the Rumble side? It's a bot over on the Rumble side. You can boot it. Mods. I think it's a bot. Careful. If it doesn't answer back to anything, it doesn't say, hey, I'm not a bot. I'm just somebody trying to promote my own channel on your platform. Right, exactly. Are you a bot?
And
Space Power Monkey. What's up, brother? Good to see you. There's a bot moving up in the world. And when you get a bot on Rumble, you know you made it. You know you've made it. Yeah, Jimmy's a mod, if he's still there. There's a couple others that are mods over on the other that would be able to make them traverse their way over.
administration, we're going to continue to march forward. Jobs and freedom that we work so hard for.
What? I mean,
Megan Kelly just what? Huh?
as Archie Bunker used to say, huh? Victor. So we actually tried to translate it, and my team thinks he's referring with that muddled statement to something that did happen back in August of 2018. There was a shooting at the Jacksonville Landing. A gunman opened fire at a video game tournament at the Chicago Pizza restaurant, targeting rival gamers. Not at a gun shop, not at a store, nothing to do with kids' toys. 2 were killed, not 5, which is what he seems to be suggesting there. 11 were hurt. One victim was black, 1 was white, not 5 young blacks, as he says there. We could keep going. So what I did manage to discern was 100% counterfactual, to be charitable in my own terminology. And the rest of it, I couldn't make heads or tails of.
Yeah. Well, you know what? He's failing at a geometric, not an arithmetic rate.
Thank you.
And I think what I mean by that is each week, it's not just 7 days worse, it's 21 days worse. And there's 3 things going on with him. One is, I don't know if it's congestive heart. I'm not a doctor, obviously. I shouldn't even be speculating, but
Well, just because you are speculating makes me question why you're even going to even try saying anything, whether it be a heart issue or any other issue. The guy's 80 years old. And you say, oh, yeah, well, Trump is 77. Yeah, he is. He's 77 years old. These are old men playing, war games with us. And I think we all need to wake up to the situation just a little bit and take it back from where it was and make it be what we want this earth to be. Not going to listen anymore to this because this guy was about ready to speculate on some major things that I don't wish to even come near speculating on when it comes to Joe Biden's health. Because I think they're all too old. Every last one of them, they're all too old. Get rid of them all. Go young. And limits. There's always term limits for everything. I was sick of seeing 80-year-olds that have been around for 60 years plus doing their jobs because they've been elected to do so. I think there's something wrong with the election process when it comes down to it. Necessary evils. Trump isn't playing the same games. Vote Darth for God Emperor. And the Capital Geriatrics Board. I mean, I agree. Get rid of it. Get rid of it all. Isn't Biden just 3 years older? Yeah, that's what I said. Trump's 77. You can look at it either way, however you want to look at it. On the state of healthiness, neither one of them are in the best of shape. One's a little bit more geriatric than the other, and one's kind of, I mean, not in the best shape. Orange Man's a little out of shape. I agree with that. So apparently somebody's having a horrible night. Good thing bombs are on. Tadpole's just screaming. So what we got screaming is a bunch of people being really loud. This person seems to think that Kamala Harris is a rock star with her size of crowd. So look at all these people. It's so amazing. Good thing they can all continuously move along with her to try filling in gaps. Yes, rock star level. You've made it, Kamala Harris. Santiago Mayer says she's like a rock star. Yes, like a rock star. So horrible. So stinky. Maybe on something. I'm not going to speculate. Dove is having a Bud Light moment. Beauty Giant is partnered with Black Lives Matter activists to promote fat liberation. I don't know if I want to go through this particular. All right, we'll take a quick glance at this. We're not going to go through this whole thing. Just not going to do it. This is one of those that would have been yeeted from the lineup if I would have made it started to make it through. As you can see, they've gone ahead and partnered with Bryant, who has gone ahead and filed complaints with schools and others against, it being fairly, racist in herself. Has gone ahead and I guess picked up a nice partnership deal with Dove. So Dove partners with BLM activists to promote fat liberation. It's not really a racial thing. It's more of a something else. to make us feel bad for somebody who had never taken care of their body before properly. The beauty giant is partnering with Black Lives Matter activists. You know what? I give me one moment. Well, so sorry about that. So sorry about that. When it comes to certain things, sometimes you have to stand up and you have to intervene and be sure that things are okay, it's just situated, straightened out, and hopefully he can be good and listen to his mother. Doesn't feel that it's necessary to do so. He wants me to do it, and he needs to take he needs to take a tub. And well, guess what? Mom's doing it. And we'll see how far that actually goes. I'm gonna move ahead with this. I really don't care. It would have been one of those fluff pieces at the end that would have stuck in there and been like, "Oh, look, Dove partners with BLM, yay!" And been like, "Yep, move on to the next." Now I've covered this lady a couple times in the past few days. To a point, said something about her in the situation of what they're calling Beetlejuicing, and for Lauren Boebert to go ahead and get herself kicked out, I really don't care. I don't care what anybody does. I really don't. As long as you're not influencing children. She wasn't influencing children. I don't care. She can do as she wishes. Now, if this was a man dressed as a woman doing the same thing, it's under the same circumstances, is that this would I feel the same? Yes, I would. I'd feel exactly the same. I would feel exactly the same when it comes down to it. Lauren Boebert has moved and gone too far with this whole situation, and or I should say the media's gone too far with this whole situation. The media's taken it to the levels of the ignorance that are out there. Yes, Lauren Boebert. That's yep, Lauren Boebert. You can't not say it when you look at her. When you look at her, yep, Lauren Boebert. Now there's footage. There's footage of this particular instance of them sitting in this audience, of him actually groping her, full breast. It's out there, without even thinking about it. That's exactly what happened. And just like, well, wait, what happened? Why did she? And you just, all right, enough of that. and I know that there's footage out there, more footage out there of him groping her. Now, who the guy is, I think has actually been released, of who it is. Now, there's okay. I was going to say now that there has to be somewhere really nearby. It's over 7 minutes of footage. We're not going to watch all 7 minutes. We're going to look at a few minutes of. You can see Miss Boebert sitting here with her friend, and she just did that thing that they say that you shouldn't do. So, strike number one, Miss Boebert. Um, strike two is when you tried saying that you didn't do it. What she was vaping is I don't really give a care. I care what it is. When you're in public and they ask you not to do it, you don't do it. I don't give a shit what level of THC was in it or anything else. She could be tripping balls for all I care. But when it comes down to it, when you do it in public, you have the right to be scrutinized for it. Well, so if we can't move down further in this video before they get kicked out, you can see she's very active. She moves around a lot compared to almost anybody else in the room. He's got his hands over by her, and he kind of does some rubbing and moving. And I'm not going to play the whole video because I don't want to. I just don't want to. Because I can see where they'd go with it. So then you can see eventually get asked to leave and escorted out. She did do something that she was not supposed to do. And if she's going to be, doing these things, you got to know your surroundings. And she had to have known. This had to have been some kind of paid attention to her day. She's going to be out in public. I mean, Lauren Boebert to the rescue. Thank you, Lauren. Thank you, Lauren Boebert, for ruining what is supposed to be the Freedom Caucus of America. Oh. What'd she do? What didn't she do? What didn't she do? She vaping. She got in trouble for it. Maybe she needs to stand up for whatever it is that happened. But, at the same time, I've seen so much happen from both sides that it doesn't really surprise me when either side does anything anymore. What? It's 100% done now. Because I said Boobert was enough. Sub Grim. If the voice inside your head is our conscience, then who's listening? Twice? Well, I don't know who would be listening if you all were the voices in my head. Glad that I'm doing this for me. I love it. Love it. Good to see you, Grimm's Bar. Good to see you. Glad you're here. Oh, again, smorgasbord of I don't know what's coming up next. Al Franken resigns, blasts Republican hypocrisy and misconduct of a variety of sort. That's disgusting. Resigned, eh? Facing a string of misconduct allegations and mounting pressures from fellow Democrats, Senator Al Franken announced Thursday that he will leave office in the coming weeks. But Franken, a former comedian, didn't go down without taking some scathing parting shots in the President Donald Trump and Republicans who have been accused of similar actions. I, of all people, am aware that there is some irony that I am leaving while a man who has bragged on tape about his history of SA sits in an Oval Office. I am a man who has preyed on underage girls, is running for Senate with the full support of his party. Said it in an emotional speech in the Senate floor. He was referring to Trump, who was also accused. Yep, that's who he was referring to. He was referring to Trump. Yep. Uh-huh. I'm sure that's exactly who he was pointing at. Uh-huh. He didn't say previous. He said the one that sits in the Oval Office. That's the way I took it. Now we can sit there and hash that out for a minute and try figuring out who's wrong and who's not. But I think if we're going to point the finger at somebody for doing something, and we're going to go that far of making them go to this level of walking out, stepping away, being like, oh, I'm out, done, finished, and not have an issue with that, I think that there's more. Point the finger at Bill Clinton, says Darth Hideous. Franken was removed because he was calling out Democrat leadership. May not like him, but he did have balls till he was neutered. I mean, he's a Democrat through and through. And when it comes down to it, being a guy that comes from the state of Minnesota, that being the case, I have this tendency to follow along with what things happen in Minnesota, as I care about those ones that live there still. I have the tendency to pay attention to their stuff. Now, Franken, though he was kind of a funny dude, his charges, allegations of SA and girls is fine. It's fine and all that they're moving ahead with this as far as they have. For him to step down, maybe be doing the right thing, and should be doing the same that most others, like our own president of the United States of America. Well, as far as that goes, sorry about that. When somebody says, "Hey, I need something," you stop and I did not hear her. She was asking for help from the other room for her to be able to get in here and get to me is amazing in itself. I do appreciate her for everything that she does. So she's quite an amazing person, and it's too bad that I did not hear her as I was speaking too loudly. As I'm reading this particular article about this disgusting old man, and I don't believe that who he's particularly referring to is Trump. I would almost think that he might be referring to somebody else that sits in the Oval Office and has a history of sniffing little children and likes kids bouncing on his lap and all those types of things. There's a lot to think about when it comes to people walking away, and to have this guy walk away, Al Franken actually walk away, walk off the floor, resign from Senate really has to say something. So I know some of this stuff is older than snot, but it is what it is. When you find things and you don't want to know what it is, you get a smorgasbord. You get a smorgasbord. That was an old instance. Did anybody catch how old that was? And that's why I used to go through all this stuff, and I had no chance to go through all of it at all. That was all the way back from 2017. It's all the way back from 2017. For some, when you think about it, has things changed much in the last several years? Has anything ever come out of Minnesota ever? No, not really. I'd have to give it a big no. I don't think that there has. As everybody needs a little bit of work. Not all of us are best. I know I'm not. I'm nowhere near the best. Anybody that thinks I'm best, thank you. I appreciate it. Show it by hitting that like button. Share this stuff out to all those places. And we'll continue. We'll continue here. So there's some weird graphic. Bidenomics versus Maganomics. I'm so glad that Joe Biden's administration did such a good job at trying to call this stuff out for what it is. Biggest corporations beginning to pay their fair share, investing in the middle class, delivering tax credits, and electric vehicles and energy efficient appliances. That's a great D. E, empowering workers and no taxes raised into these earnings to less than $400,000 a year. O, over $13 million in new jobs. M, Medicare has the power to negotiate lower prescription drug prices. I, implementing a once-in-a-generation investment in our nation's infrastructure. C, capping insulin costs at $35 a month for seniors on Medicare. S, saving nearly 15 million Americans $800 per year on health insurance premiums. Yes, I know. Thanks, Darth. I know I'm the best. I know I'm the best. I do the best job that I possibly can to bring you high quality old news. To make you, wow, that seems something like that we need to pay attention to. How many people weren't paying attention to some of the old stuff? Here you go. Medicare loses ability to negotiate prescription drug prices. Affordable Care Act, Medicaid, and child health insurance programs cut by half. Give $5.1 trillion in tax cuts skewed to wealthy people and big corporations. Americans' jobs shipped overseas. What a bunch of crock of shit this is. No $35 monthly cap on insulin. You know, there was one. $100 million Americans with disabilities lose Medicare. I hate to see that be the case. I almost doubt it. Hate to see that be the case. Minimum tax on corporations eliminated. Incentives of electric vehicles and energy efficient appliances repealed. Cut taxes for the top 0.1% by $175,000 a year, and Social Security retirement age increases to 69. I mean, you're not going to tell me that retirement age isn't over 69 right now. I mean, I was told when I was younger that it most likely would be 73, 74 by the time I would come even near being able to retire. There's no way that retirement's anywhere in my near future. Absolutely not. Retirement's a dream. Frog is talking. I don't know where your stuff is, man. Go find it. Weren't the Andrews sisters from Minnesota? Maybe. So he was talking about Trump. All the way back in 2017, he was talking about Trump. It's kind of reminiscent though when you think about it. In almost every single administration, there's been something. There's been something that's been disturbingly, put into play, like this shit here. Saying Bidenomics is a good thing. You creepy old man. I don't believe you. I see what's happening. Watching gas prices continuously go up, and I'm not seeing it going anywhere than that. I'm retiring from a job to become a welfare neat. We got lucky and were able to retire in our mid-30s, start our family. That's awesome. That's awesome. And if you're lucky enough to get to that stage, you're winning. You're definitely winning. Sure is neat. Y'all don't know who I'm talking to. I got Vicky and Darth over in Rumble. They're part of this wonderful conversation. We're going to continue from one disturbing person to the next.
Into the people's bank account. You out.
All right, hold up here, Oprah. Slow down. Slow your roll, Oprah.
You out. So all of the online, being
slander and
slammed, attacks, lies, conspiracy theories.
He put the first two words in your mouth for you to get you triggered, to get you going. Can't even do your own job right. Really, lady?
Really took the focus off of what was the most important thing, and that was the people of Maui. Okay, so we thought...
Oh, okay. Sure it did. It took the focus off the people of Maui. Oh, it didn't take the focus. It put all the focus not on you at all. You didn't do nothing. You did zero things wrong.
Starting the fund with $10 million would be a great idea, because any of us who've ever been to any benefit, you go to a benefit and somebody gives $10 million, that's called a good night.
Right.
So
that's called a good night. Yeah. And what did you purchase that night? I bet you purchased a whole lot where you think that you have say over a whole lot more than you ever did 10 minutes before that. Because you just bought big stake into it.
We thought $10 million would start off the fund. We'll do what Dolly did. get other people to give money, and then we'll put it directly into the people's bank accounts. I was so excited. I was so excited about it.
It's still a good idea.
And then I got up
You
the next
still
morning.
should be.
Yeah.
I was so excited. I got up the next morning and I saw all of this vitriol and I was like, whoa, what happened here? So this is what I want to say. I want to say that, I think in the beginning, so many people were calling, asking, where do we give our money to? So I thought, I'm going to give people a place to
create.
we're going to create something. And I still think
Oh, she did it, or the other person did it? I'll create, as he says, for her to repeat it back, and just be like, yes, you did that. Okay, so now I have to rethink myself here, because I was going to go on this high road of I did something great, and I'm going to continue to be this great person that isn't doing what I had been doing for the last how many years. I'm now being run by a conglomerate of people larger and much wiser than I. Thank you, Oprah.
it's a really strong idea.
Yeah.
Dolly Parton was right. Putting money directly into the hands of the people is a significant thing. And the model that's been created, I will say that as of today, 2,200 people have been cleared and verified. And those people are going to get a notice from the People Fund of Maui and going to have the money.
And it's working. It made me deeply mad. It made you deeply sad.
Made me sad
Yeah,
that
and I'm
we're at
wondering
this
how you're
state in
coping
our
with that.
country,
Yes.
you know?
Right.
Yeah.
No, everything leads to this kind of polarization.
We're so concerned about the state of our own country, supposedly now, all of a sudden, but for so long, we should still continue to think about the state of another country, of Ukraine, that we give so much more money to, that we didn't give to our own citizenry. So glad that we wasted our time and efforts in Ukraine.
Even serving other people. But here's the point. Here's Oprah's point. If you take your time, your money, your resources, your life, and you give the love that other people need, especially in their times of need, that is the secret of happiness.
Yeah.
Because happiness is love.
That's right.
Happiness is
love.
Thank you, Arthur.
Happiness is love. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Yeah, happiness is love. Happiness is love. That's a great little line that you used there. I'm so glad that you all can continue to regurgitate idiocy. Maybe the her going ahead and deciding to donate so much money back, so much money back to the community of Lahaina and Maui, for the amount of destruction that's there, would be great. It's kind of interesting how none of her property got damaged. Slava Ukrainian, happiness is drugs. Happiness is drugs. That could be. So then, who's this? This quick little 4-second video. 4-second video. Again, smorgasbord of stuff tonight. Smorgasbord of stuff. You don't know what's going to come at you next. You ready? 4 seconds.
We are always preparing a new military package for Ukraine.
Oh, wonderful. Wonderful. Good to know. Good to know that we're always.
We are always preparing a new military package for Ukraine.
That's just what we do. Just what we do. We're always, without a thought, without a doubt, doing.
We are always preparing a new military package for Ukraine.
Just that. Yes. Thank you. Thank you for doing such a wonderful job at always creating a new package for Ukraine. I told you, I have no clue what is coming up through this. It's, I think, 33 tabs open. So, okay. For some reason, that got some things that just shouldn't be saved got saved somehow, some way. Oh, okay. Got you, Vicky. I see your DM. We'll see what we can do here. No, I don't know. I guess this might be YouTube safe. We'll try. We'll try. Scientists switch off autism symptoms using $3 epilepsy drug discovery. Good thing that you found this, the magic switch so many years later to go ahead and potentially turn this off. Using a drug that's not intended for this particular instance, but it's okay. It's okay. You should never be told that you can't use something when it comes to anything else. As you know, it just doesn't work that way. Sometimes things do work that way, and as you see here, $3 epilepsy drug just so happens to switch off autism symptoms. What those particular symptoms are, it could be interesting to learn about. Maybe I may have stuck this at an end of a show or towards an end of a show as like a filler piece, something to give us a little bit more to go off of if I had other things that were close enough. No, it's not. Stop it, Darth. It's not true. It's not true. Oh, so this one I know I definitely cannot show over here on YouTube. That's a very disturbing instance of the couple young men who stole a car, went ahead and ran down a guy on a bicycle, broad daylight, just took him out and kept going like it was nothing. Grand Theft Auto style. Will not be watching that here. Maybe when we're done. We'll go over to. Oh, see, there's a second one. This one's. Yeah, I can't show this over here. All right. Some things you just can't share. We don't need to listen to all this. There's a good spot in this particular committee hearing last week, and
thank you, Chair. You and I had a discussion about the importance of being
funny-ish,
especially to the minority, and I want to have that conversation with you. But before we get there, I do want to ask a couple questions that I think are relevant. Chairman, in April, Chairman McHenry and I sent you a letter regarding your proposal impacting mutual funds and retirement savings. We expressed our concerns with the inherent unfairness of creating a two-tiered market that would significantly impact retirement savers at a time. Interesting. Even God's upset with this.
Even God's upset with us? Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for that. That wonderful, wonderful excerpt of even God's upset with this. If even God's upset with it, why are you even talking about it? Why are you even talking about it? There should be no reason for you to even continue. You should take the sign that you just seen and run with it and make that happen. Make that happen. Make it be that whatever the pounding was God. It was God telling you how upset he was that you were having such a conversation. Yeah, see, like I said, some of this is going to get just tanked immediately. Like, nope, not going to happen. Here's some guys.
You want pizza? Yeah. No, I don't need any pizza, but thank
Need some water. Get confronted by what seems to be PD. Kind of an interesting set of gentlemen themselves. I appreciate them for being wonderful supporters of a great movement that could potentially be something bigger if we got more people to wake up to the ignorance of what this government is that we live under, and the tyranny, and make America great again. It just might be a good thing. Teenager facing charges. Yeah, okay, so that's the same story. You can see where I would have eventually tried to cover that no matter what. Why blocking intersections on a road, doing anything whatsoever, if you think that's fun, there might be better things to do. As it seems as though everybody's super angry at each other, and it makes them mad. Oh, they hurt that dude on the bike bad. Yeah, well, yeah. The way I took it, they unalived the man. We'll actually watch that video here in a short bit. We're gonna make our way through these tabs here. I do want to speak with you. Let's see, now this one. This one, on the other hand, this is going to stay. Might cover that some other time. Margie Taylor Greene, I will say yes. Eventually, the subpoena for Joe Biden and the rest of the family members to be a thing to go ahead and do their investigation that they need to do. She is saying yes, as we've previously gone over. that McCarthy will and has set up an inquiry to happen. Marjorie Taylor Greene, yes, is saying yes, there will be something that will happen. I don't think I found that interesting, but okay. Then Canada seems to be waking up to a little bit of something here, and deciding to move along with what they believe would be in a constitutional protection to make sure that schools don't leave parents in the dark about their children's changes. Again, I don't believe children should be going through those types of changes. It maybe shows the mentality of the adults taking care of the children. As far as that goes, I believe that these laws, invoking laws to protect the parent, to be sure that any teacher that says anything to any child must speak to the parents, it should have already been implied. That shouldn't have to be a thing that needs to be set as a law. I don't see that being the deal. They literally aimed at, and they did, Wendy. They did. They literally aimed right at them. I believe I posted this instance in Discord for those that are in Discord, if they're wondering what it is. Otherwise, make it over to Rumble here eventually, as I will be. I will go through it. I'll play that video. Take that down. I find so much stuff. You click on it, you're like, yep, and then you when it comes to doing the work of what stays and what goes, stuff like this obviously would not make it. This is not something that I would normally do, but yes, bread and garlic bread. I mean, there's something to be said about both of them, and I think I go by the never put your penis in crazy. Never stick it in crazy. Biden requests SCOTUS to block limits and collaboration. Social media censorship case. Oh, I'm so sick of censorship in itself. Censorship should not be something that, as you can tell, I would have been potentially gearing up for a set of show as opposed to it just being what it is that you're getting here tonight. I hope y'all enjoying it. Biden requests SCOTUS to block limits of collaboration in social media censorship case. The Biden administration is requested Thursday afternoon asking the Supreme Court to temporarily halt lower court directive that puts limits on how it is permitted to correspond with social media companies over rules surrounding content moderation. U.S. Solicitor General Elizabeth Prelogar reportedly informed the justice that should the unprecedented order be permitted to stand, it would result in the Louisiana district judge being assigned the responsibility of monitoring the executive branch's communication and social media companies. Prelogar cautioned that Biden's request for the justice to put U.S. District Judge Terry Dottie's order on hold will have startling implications, including putting unprecedented limits on the ability of presidents' closest aides to use the bully pulpit to address matters of public concern, on the FBI's ability to address threats to the nation's security, and the CDC's ability to relay public health information at platforms' request. Ah, yes, we should be able to post any of that we wish at any point in time. Just don't go against our wishes and speak out and say anything opposite of what that would be, as we might just get in trouble for it. How bad is it that the president is literally begging the Supreme Court to allow him to censor speech? Exactly. It's like, please allow us to pass a law that goes to everything against First Amendment rights. Straight out. I need to get my word out and uncensored and censor everybody else while you're at it. It's very, very hard to take and understand. So then like I said, I was gearing up for a show for today, so I did have some stuff here dated for today, and I just never got a chance to go through it all. Damn it, Jack! Why are you always showing up in front of my words? I just want the words. I don't want your thank you. Go away. U.S. government asks for public assistance in locating an $80 million F-35 jet that went missing after a mishap. Oh, oops. Now, I realized today of looking at this particular instance and what was going on is they did find a debris path of where this jet would have come down here in the United States. It's a sad ordeal no matter what. It's hilarious that they had to ask for the public's assistance in locating such a horrible instance. What exactly went missing? Huh? How does that go missing all of a sudden? After the pilot ejected during the mishap on Sunday afternoon, U.S. military is still looking for a missing $80 million F-35. Joint Base Charleston posted to Facebook that personnel from the base, Marine Corps Air Station Beaufort, are responding to the mishap involving an F-35B Lightning II jet with Marine Fighter Attack Training Squadron 501 in the 2nd Marine Aircraft Wing. The pilot ejected safely and was transferred to a local medical center in stable condition. Emergency response teams are still trying to locate the F-35. According to the statement, based on the jet's last known position, in coordination with the FAA, we are focusing our attention on the JB Charleston around Lake Moultrie and Lake Marion. The base asked that the public cooperate with military and civilian authorities as the effort continues, adding anyone with information about the jet's whereabouts is urged to contact Charleston Base Defense Operations Center immediately. Of course they should. You should definitely, if you see this where this is, you shouldn't touch it, shouldn't play with it, shouldn't try taking it home, making it yours. You call them and you let them know where it's at and go along with their recommendation. You should totally do that. Just poof, went missing. They ejected, it's gone. They can't find it. They didn't keep an eye on it. That nobody paying attention to where it would have been gone. None of that. None of that. So then, I don't know how much more. This is going to get down to the nitty gritty here. It's going to get down to the nitty gritty. We're just a few things left. LA County Sheriff's deputy shot and killed in execution style in Palmdale, California. Oh, really? He did. Los Angeles Sheriff's deputy discovered a shot and dead inside his police vehicle after authorities described as an ambush in Palmdale. The shooter's at large as of Sunday. The killing of Deputy Ryan Klinkenbrummer, a 30-year-old field training officer, took place Saturday in the corner of Sierra Highway and Avenue Q, just near the Palmdale Sheriff's Station. Dramatic video footage allegedly shows the police rushing the deputy to the hospital. The Good Samaritan came upon Klinkenbrummer, who was found unconscious while the vehicle about 6 p.m. Klinkenbrummer was taken to Antelope Valley Medical Center in Lancaster, where he was ultimately succumbed to his injuries. Sheriff Robert Luna revealed that Klinkenbrummer's death was being investigated as a murder and that public's help is appreciated. Yes, the public hasn't done enough already. You should insert yourself in Klinkenbrummer's agenda, life, and everything else, and see if you can't make it about him as opposed to it being about whoever it was that took another person's life in the ignorance of their own. Whoever was the jerk that did this, that walked up behind and ambushed this deputy as he was sitting in his car and took his life. I hope that the rest of your life is rotten in a jail cell. Just rotting. Disgusting, disturbing human beings. What's up, Bernie Mac? Good to see you. Glad you're here. Democrats are okay. Cops getting ambushed. Yep. Were arrested. 35 counts of animal cruelty each. They're class 6 felonies. What? I don't know. So they're 2 blocks away. Glad we stopped away from them. Oh, okay. Right. Bubba can take care of him because he got high. Do you think, Darth? Do you think that's the reason why he did it? It's such an idiotic move. This person's going to have to live with themselves for a long time for what they've done. I hope it eats at them. Speaking of things eaten at others, this should really kind of point us in the right direction on some of the things coming around the corner from the previous guy. When we see the likeness of Ken Paxton speaks out after failed impeachment. Today, the truth prevailed. It failed. He was found innocent. He was acquitted on all charges in his impeachment trial. When this guy, the senator from Texas, gets to the point of actually being acquitted, it gives you hope. Gives you hope for somebody else in the near future, as they're going to be going through this type of stuff all over themselves. And that can't. All right. So, two things left that I can't cover here on YouTube. If you haven't hit that like button, please smash the like button. Make it friend. Make it be what it needs to be. I'm going to go away from here. I probably will not play the whole 4-minute clip of dancing Trump, so don't be afraid. It's not going to be that long. I'll stop it sooner than that. It's an easy commercial to play that goes in between the two shows. I do appreciate you all so very, very much. Thank you, YouTube. Love y'all. Later.
People aren't buying at CNN, you dumb bastards. They're not buying it.